Hello, I'm Sjir Hoeijmakers, and I'm independently involved in kind of facilitating the basic income experiments or basic income inspired experiments in the Netherlands. Well, it's actually a harder question than it seems because it's such a big whole of ideas basically. So basic income is mostly about that you can still give it a definition, a very broad definition, is about that you give people their basic income, that the government pays each citizen a basic income monthly, which is enough to live from individually. There's basically four characteristics. There is that you have enough to live from, that everyone gets enough to live from, everyone gets it, that there's no conditions attached, no strings attached, and that it's individual. So this is the general definition from basic income, but there's a wide variety of ideas just circling around all of this, and it's more of a direction than a single idea in that sense. Well, it depends on what you do. So you might have basic income systems that will, for example, cause inflation. So then it won't really matter that much. However, that's just a matter of smart implementing. And basic income is not necessarily about introducing extra money into society. It's about giving everyone this basic needs and building on that, just working in a job from paid labor. So it's not necessarily about putting new money in society. And this is one of the many misconceptions about basic income, that it's just about just getting free money from somewhere, which it isn't. It's just money that is paid for by everyone, for everyone in that sense. Yeah, I'm involved in trying to help these experiments get started. So there are many initiatives in the Netherlands. There have been about 30, 40 initiatives. 19 of these or 20 of these have become really serious in the sense that they are now really supported by the municipality. And these are not all basic income experiments. In fact, most of them are not full basic income experiments, but they are about implementing aspects of basic income, so the unconditionality, the fact that you keep this when you start working for a bit so that you earn money directly on top of it. Those aspects are integrated into our current social security system in the Netherlands. This is what most experiments are about. But there are also experimental initiatives that really go further than this and propose a basic income for a whole group of citizens. Well, no experiments have started yet at this point, but we are really working hard. It's going really fast in that sense, because this idea is just in the society has kind of come up again 2 years ago, and since then many of these initiatives have started, and we hope that the first experiments will start the end of this year, maybe the start of next year. Well, the thing is, this is also kind of the idea that everyone will have extra money. That's not necessarily the idea of a basic income. The idea is that your basic needs are guaranteed, and you can do this in many different ways. You could do this by giving everyone extra money, but that will be hard, because where will you get the money from? What it's mostly about is that you guarantee this basis, and that people don't have to worry about this. So it's not so much a financial issue, it's not so much about payability, it's about changing our current social security system to a system that's more transparent, and that really provides this basic security for everyone. So people won't necessarily have more money to spend. Some will, maybe, but it will be much more extra. So there's no reason for landlords or other people to raise prices in that sense. Yeah, so there's actually many different reasons why people get involved in this. That's the interesting thing about basic income. It touches on so many different aspects of life. One, of course, might be poverty. What we see, that's a very obvious one, because you kind of define away poverty with the basic income. What we see very much in the municipalities that start in the social security is that they don't like the current way people are treated, kind of, and stigmatized in our current system. So there are many complaints about our system being based too much on distrust of people and not really helping them, but instead putting them in a very negative position, which will be hard to get out from. So this is one of the reasons. Another one might be also more internationally, is that robotization, a new economy, many current jobs being automated, and maybe new jobs coming in to replace them. But how do we deal with this transition? That's another reason, for example. So there's many different perspectives. I think there's many challenges here as well, and the biggest challenge, I think, is that there are so many misconceptions about the idea, and this is partly because the idea is so broad and because it has so many possible advantages for many different people, but that has the risk that some of these advantages or disadvantages are really lighted out, are really put a spotlight on, while others are not talked about. And the challenge is then with each stakeholder to really look at what can it mean for you, how can it be bad for you, how can we look at this in a very observing good in a way that takes everything into account, instead of falling into kind of the framing phases like free money or just get this political kind of emotionally loaded debate, which often unfortunately leads to just a lot of spectacle but not really progress in a practical sense. This has developed. It has changed a lot over the years. So initially, I was found it just a fascinating and weird idea. I thought it was, well, why would people think about this even? So I had many prejudices myself in that sense. And then I started really reading into it, and I saw that there was a lot of a shortage of knowledge in a sense, and a lot of misconceptions. For example, about how you could finance it, which is actually pretty easy. So there is. Those things is what mostly focused on, and then I saw a role for myself on really, sharing the knowledge I had gained, also from my background as an econometrician, to share this knowledge with other people, and hopefully get this debate a step forward, because this idea has so many different perspectives, so many possible advantages. I'm not even saying that I support starting a basic income right now. All I'm saying is there's so much potential in this idea from so many different angles that we should at least try it out and do an experiment, multiple experiments with it. What you do, well, they can do a lot of things. That's the good thing. So I myself also had this question when I first heard of this, and I started seeing the potential of it. So I went first from being a skeptic to then, oh, maybe there's something in it. And at some point you want to do something, and of course study for yourself, get some more knowledge, know what you're talking about, and know why you would find this interesting, and then start talking to people. That's of course one first thing you could do. And then of course you can join something like the Dutch Basic Income Association or another association in your country, or you can. There's unlimited possibilities. You can organize your groups yourself. For example, what I did is helping municipalities, counseling, kind of giving advice on different places, organizing an event in your neighborhood. So there's, if you're active in a political party, do something there, start a group, put forward a motion. There's an endless range of possibilities in that sense. Well, I think this is changing. I think there have been quite a lot of books, depending on the age as well, and some of them maybe now be a bit more older, more relevant for example the 90s. In the 90s there was a lot written about this, and there have been some PhD theses on this and stuff in the net, and books written on this in the Netherlands, for example. And now I often get requests by master students, for example, who want to interview me on, because they're writing their thesis on this, and international requests of people who want to study these experiments. So there's a lot of interest, and I think, we'll see this developing the coming years. But there is already, if you, and this might not be in every library, but there is an international journal. There are many, researchers who've worked on this, like, for example, Guy Standing and Philippe van Parijs, who are also here today. So if you would just have control over, for example, a nation's budget, then it's pretty easy, because you just have to reform it. Easy, I mean, it's possible if you have this power. Of course, the challenge is to do this in a good way that takes everyone's wishes into account, or political wishes. But for a municipality, this is hard, because a municipality only has power over its local finances and everything, and you'd have to coordinate this with national taxes, of course. So that's where the hard part lies. So what many Dutch municipalities now do is take current social security and move that towards the basic income where they can. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is just find a fund right now, because you'll need some extra money now, because you can't coordinate yet with national taxes. And of course, if these experiments prove fruitful, then we might also set up larger experiments nationwide, like in Finland, in which you can coordinate with tax authorities, and then it's actually, you can do this without much extra finances. I definitely wouldn't know. I do think it's a very realistic option. That I don't even know if we have to end up with a full basic income individual as it is stated. But I think this direction is has a lot of potential. So I hope that we'll explore this, and then we'll see where we'll end up. And I think it's very realistic that in, say, 5-10 years, somewhere in the world there will be a basic income. That depends also on these experiments, of course. Thank you very much, and I'm very grateful for being able to do this. And as you might be able to see, I'm really, gives me a lot of satisfaction to be able to do something useful for society, and also, that's also very valuable for me. And I'm hoping that I can really do this in a way that, people see it back in society. So, thank you.